evening, Tottenham fans. Tottenham are playing Aston Villa on Sunday, one of 7 games before the next international break. We have 4 Premier League games, 2 Champions League games, and an EFL League Cup game versus Newcastle. But the biggest question is, can Spurs stay undefeated until the next international break? If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I've just gone past 3,000 on the road to 4,000 subscribers now. Thank you to everyone that's contributed so far to the channel. Now, let's get into this. I've got the fixture list in front of me, and our first game is Aston Villa at home. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, and Aston Villa started off pretty badly at the start of the season. They didn't score a goal for the first 4 games, and they were sitting right near the bottom of the Premier League. But since then, they have played in the Europa League, beaten Bologna 1-0. Then they played Fulham at home and beat them 3-1. They beat Feyenoord away in the Europa League 2-0, and they beat Burnley at home 2-1 also. So Aston Villa have now won their last 4 games. Of course they did, because they're playing us next. So it's not going to be an easy game. And I'm going to be a little bit dubious about it, because our home form is nowhere near as good as our away form. We really need to turn that around and start winning more games at home. And I thought our record against Aston Villa was pretty decent, but their record against us is better than what it is against theirs. So it's not going to be an easy day. We're at home. We need to start winning games at home. I'm assuming Mwani's back for this game as well, so we might have a bit more firepower up front. Bergvall is fit. There was reports that he wasn't going to be fit, but he's come out and said himself he's ready for the Villa game. Matisse Tell could start this up front. And Odegaard is on fire for the under-21s. Did you know Odegaard for the under-21s qualifying rounds has scored 4 goals and got 1 assist so far? So he's doing pretty decently, to be fair. So we could start off again like we did against Leeds with Odegaard and Tell starting as forwards, because obviously Tell's not registered for the Champions League. So he may start against Aston Villa, and then we're playing again on Wednesday against Monaco, which is our next game. So I'm going to say with the Villa game, I'm going to say we can get 3 points there. I'm quite confident it's going to be close. I'm going to say 2-1 to Spurs against Villa. And then our next game is away to Monaco. Now, we're a better away side than we are a home side, like I keep saying. But it's away to Monaco in the Champions League. I'm going to put that down to a draw. I think any away match in Europe, I don't care where you're playing, is always difficult. I think Monaco are 5th in their league and only a couple of points from top. So yeah, I'm going to say a draw for that. So far, we're still undefeated. But then we're away at Everton. It's not Goodison Park anymore. I don't think it is anyway. They called it something else now. Can't remember what the stadium's called. But Everton are not bad form at the moment. They're doing okay. And it's going to be a very difficult game. But I honestly thought we would drop points against Leeds United. And the performance we put in there, if we put in the same performance we did against Leeds, I can honestly see us getting some points against Everton. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Spurs for that game. Although Everton are more than capable of scoring versus us. And David Moyes is a very, very good manager. And then we're away to Newcastle in the League Cup. The holders of the League Cup, by the way. And what a tough ground this is to go to. You know, Arsenal found it very, very difficult. Liverpool found it very, very difficult. Although both of those got victories there, it took Liverpool for Newcastle to get 10 men to lose to Liverpool. So it's going to be a very, very difficult day. I think this is the game that we will lose. I honestly think we'll go out of the League Cup. I don't want to say that, but this is one of those games where I just think, because we've played 3 days before at Goodison, then 3 days later we're playing Newcastle, and then 3 days after that we've got Chelsea at home, I just think that we'll lose that game. Then 3 days later we got Chelsea at home, and I'm going to put that as a draw. I really want to beat them. We haven't beat them for so long now. Under Ange, we didn't get 1 point against them, I don't think. So I really want to beat Chelsea. I'm going to put it as a draw, but could be a win too. We're at home. Depends on if our home record. Depends if we beat Villa at home. If we beat Villa at home, and then we start turning around our home form, maybe the fans might be big for that game. Then we are at home to FC Copenhagen in the Champions League again, and that again is 3 days after the Chelsea game. It's like a game every 3 days. It's so hard. The rotation's going to be insane for these games. It's going to be so difficult. I'm going to put Spurs down to win that game with heavy rotation as well, and then 4 days later, we're at home to Manchester United, and this is the game before the international break. Now, I'm so glad that we beat Leeds before the last international break. Otherwise, this hoodoo would still be on our backs, and that wouldn't be great at all. I'm going to say Man United, I think we can beat them. It's a 12:30 kickoff. It's an early kickoff. I think we can beat Manchester United as well. So if we go back on this, if we only lose to Newcastle in my predictions, if that happens and we only lose to Newcastle, that means that's another 7 games and only 1 defeat, which means it's 17 games and 2 defeats in total. That would be not bad season for me so far. Then we're going to the international break, and straight after the international break on the 23rd of November is away to the Gooners. So we really need to rack up some points before we get to that game. Maybe we'll still be close to them in the table by the time that comes around. That would be an even bigger game if we were. But I just can't see us going undefeated for another 7 games, especially because they're every 3 days. If we can keep our injuries to a minimum level, get some players back, because Takai, Dragushin, Mawani, Solanke all coming back. If we can keep all these guys fit, we can rotate and we've got more of a chance of winning these games. But it's going to be a very, very difficult run, like very difficult. But they are winnable games. We can win a few of these games. We really can. And if we can keep the pace in the top 4 and keep up with them all, the longer this goes on, then we have a good January window. You know, things can be, we could have a really, really good season. But I'm optimistic now, but let's see what happens in the next 3 or 4 weeks and see how optimistic I am then. But honestly, there's no reason why we can't do well. There's no reason. So there's also news today that Tottenham are going to, let me read it out because it was on Twitter today. Tottenham are preparing a blockbuster move to bring Harry Kane back to North London from Bayern Munich next summer. Spurs prepared to break the bank to secure Kane's signature, covering his hefty release clause and matching his substantial wages. So they're going to match 400 grand a week. That doesn't sound believable. The club would see the move as a real statement of intent with their new sporting director team of Fabio Paratici and Joan Langer. Now, if Spurs, I know for a fact there's a lot of murmurings around Spurs that they do want to bring Harry Kane back. They want to make a statement signing. And if they bring Harry Kane back, that would be absolutely insane. He is I think he's the best number 9 on the planet. So for us to get him back would be absolutely insane. I can't imagine him going to another club. He loves Tottenham way too much. I know money can talk sometimes, but he's won his medals, he's won his trophies at Bayern. He's probably going to win another league title again this season. That'll be 2 league titles for Harry Kane with Bayern Munich. They might win a cup competition. They may even do well in the Champions League because they have got an insane team. So, and also he could even win the World Cup with England. So can you imagine that? So he'd happily come back to Spurs with all his medals and maybe win something with Spurs too. Can you imagine that? I also think Spurs should go all out for Semenyo. Make that your statement signing next summer too. Bring in Kane and Semenyo, and we won't need anyone else. We'll have Kudus, Semenyo, Xavi and Kane, and we'll just give them the ball and let them destroy every single defence in the Premier League. That would be absolutely brilliant. I'd love to bring him back. I don't know how believable this is, and I don't know how how applicable it is. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know they won't pay £400,000 a week. I know they won't do that. Maybe Kane will take a pay cut to come back to his boyhood club and try and beat that Premier League record of 200 and something goals, 76 goals or something. It's only like 41 away from it or something like that. So it is possible for him to do it. He's still the best striker on the planet, in my opinion. Watch everyone now say, when he comes to Spurs, that he's not the best striker in the world. He's not world class because he plays for Spurs now. Because no one said that when he was at Spurs, but as soon as he went to Bayern, all of a sudden, he was world class and everybody said he was the best striker on the planet. I've always said he was. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's a phenomenal talent. Bringing Harry Kane to Spurs would be a massive statement. I would love it. But let's see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Spurs can stay undefeated for the next 7 games before the next international break? Do you think Harry Kane will come back to Spurs? And if so, do you want him to come back to Spurs? Thank you for watching, and come on you Spurs.